Hello, fellas. This tale starts in a medical ward with a youth resting in bed while foliage withers and a petal lands upon his face. The lad rouses in a fright and instantly bolts upright. Out of breath, he questions his current location. By now, it is clear that he is a person who has undergone reincarnation. He attempts to peel back the blanket to see if his limbs are intact, but unfortunately, the man has returned to life without legs. Only short stumps remain now. In a rage, he demands to know the hour just as a voice cries out for a sibling. She weeps with great fervor, exclaiming that he is at last conscious. She rushes over to embrace him. She pledges to track down the driver who struck him before fleeing, promising that his mobility will certainly be restored. The lead character understands he has truly regressed 1 year to the moment of the crash where he rotated like a spinning blade and launched into the air. That event marked the conclusion of his journey as a prominent young mogul. A young woman hurried to save Mr. Shen, though he was subsequently confined to a wheelchair. His circumstances only worsened from that point forward. An individual walks into the ward and summons Shen Qing. With a hopeless expression, the main character addresses Tian Kai. Kai mentions that his elder sibling provided supplies for his nourishment and healing. This was the man he placed the most faith in, a close companion named Zhao Tiankai. However, this person exploited his vulnerability to seize control of the global corporation he had established. He furthermore leveraged the hero's failing condition to coerce his sister into a marriage. Luckily, this individual is merely an associate of the family, rather than a biological relation. He informed the hero's sister that her brother's future would be secured and medical costs covered if she wed him. In despair, the protagonist demands her release, but the helpless man was stuck on the floor like a slug. Tian Kai asks what he intends to do about the situation. He kisses the sister while claiming he fails to understand why dogs continue to bark. The unfortunate girl could only weep in total helplessness. That villain robbed him of everything he possessed. Not long after, a digital experience called Divine Path was released. It featured absolute realism, and the game's currency soon gained significant real-world value. However, something completely unforeseen occurred. Imagine this: the virtual statistics of the game began to influence actual reality. This should have provided the perfect opportunity for Shen Qing to seek vengeance, but he was destitute at the start. He was unable to join the game during its launch and lacked the means to level up effectively. He was repeatedly ambushed and eliminated, leaving him no way to challenge his rival. That traitor Tian Kai utilized the wealth stolen from the company to acquire elite resources and stats. He established an organization that transformed him into an unrivaled titan. Yet, Shen Qing was aware that all of these achievements truly belonged to him. At the protagonist's residence, Tian Kai questions if the boy summoned him there just to be mocked. Surrounded by explosives, he remarks that it is humorous to think such a trap could kill him. However, Shen Qing states that they will at least discover the outcome together. He triggers the explosive and promises to see him in the next life. With that, the entire building detonates. The youth was resolute. His legs were gone and so were his arms. But Tian Kai questions why he even attempted such a feat. Shen Qing is stunned to see the man standing before him completely unscathed. Tian explains that with divine path attributes, it is impossible for even a single hair to be damaged by such things. He presses his foot onto the boy's head and declares that he will learn a secret before dying. He was responsible for the death of the parents and the crash that cost the boy his legs. The most bitter irony is that he plans to have a child with the sister, meaning the family's final bloodline will bear his name. Shen Qing wails in agony, but he is powerless beneath the man's boot. Even with his head crushed, he vowed to himself that he would never offer forgiveness. Back in the current timeline, he is unsure why he has returned, but he turns to his sister and tells her to stop crying because things will improve. He swears that in this life he will protect her and their family's legacy. Naturally, he will also seek retribution against that villain Tian Kai. The difficulty is that he returned to a point after the accident, so his legs are already lost. His opportunity clearly depends on the release of Divine Path. It will take nearly a month for the public to realize the game's stats affect the real world, providing him a narrow window to change his fate. He must act quickly before his funds are restricted. His sister asks why he is grimacing and if his limb is in pain. She stands up to summon a physician, but he claims there is a more pressing matter. Confused, she inquires about his meaning. He requests her assistance in obtaining a gaming station for the upcoming title known as Divine Path. She still fails to grasp why he is making such a request. Suddenly, Tian Kai enters the ward, asking when his big brother became interested in video games. He cautions that gaming addiction is risky, especially with a corporation to manage. Shen Qing immediately recognizes that this scoundrel is attempting to bait him. However, he simply answers that as a cripple, he has nothing left to do but play games. Tian Kai gives a mocking grin. He then notes that Divine Path is launching soon but is incredibly costly. If he is correct, only 100 units will be available initially at a price exceeding 300 million. Shen Qing retorts that the firm's capital is his, and he would buy it even if it cost 30 billion. His sister urges him not to react that way, while Tian Kai says it is fine since he desires it so much. Clearly, Tian Kai is pleased by this development. The more time the youth spends in a game, the easier it becomes to seize the firm. He then tells him not to fret since he wants to explore this world. They will buy it and ensure he enjoys himself. He shouldn't worry about the company because he would oversee it. Abruptly, he pulls the sister close and says she will be spending more time with him now. Meanwhile, Shen Qing vows he won't allow that disgusting man to touch his sister. Not comprehending the hostility, Tian Kai says that is fine. He then exits the room and closes the door. Outside, he glares back in fury, wondering why that incompetent assassin failed to kill the brat. Next time, he plans to use a tank to ensure he is thoroughly destroyed. Inside the ward, Shen Qing instructs his sister to convert all company capital into game currency. Furthermore, she is to liquidate all company stock and transfer those funds as well. She is somewhat baffled and asks if he is unwell or what is happening. He reassures her that he is fine and tells her not to worry. He possesses a strategy to transform their future. 3 hours later, he has already covered 200 million in delivery fees and the rig is in his room. This youth is certainly fast. The account is already set up and he declares that he is ready to begin. With that, the interface appears and our protagonist has legs within the digital world. If there was one sensation he truly missed, it was the ability to walk unhindered. The system requests a name and he inputs Cal Hai Wang. A variety of avatars appear and the game asks him to select a profession. Up to this point, everything matches his previous life exactly. He chooses the class he knows best. The boy selects the ranger profession. It's a surprise he isn't an assassin this time. I was already anticipating the typical cliché. The system confirms his choice and moves to the next phase. As a VIP participant at the game's start, he receives an elven lineage. Since the ranger class complements elves, he gains a specific bonus. As a premium user, he also obtains a reward manual. Man, this kid is definitely using a pay-to-win strategy. The manual provides a skill that lets him identify vulnerabilities. He is thrilled because these are techniques he already perfected in his past life. As one of the initial 100 players, he also earns a unique crate. Now, this is a surprise he didn't encounter previously. The notification states the crate holds a rare talent but requires 50 million gold coins. According to the current rates, that equals $7 million. Good grief, this chest is incredibly pricey. But our protagonist has already liquidated the firm and immediately adds the funds to his balance. He understands that fiat currency will lose value as digital items become more important. Not to mention that talents are difficult to find, so securing one now would be amazing. In his previous life, he once got a talent that boosted bleed damage, which won him many fights. Using the company's wealth, he manages to deposit 500 million gold into the game. He confirms the purchase to open the massive crate, which launches a golden pillar of light into the sky. The reward he gets leaves him ecstatic. It is a talent capable of evolving anything, something he didn't even know was possible. A massive owl appears and confirms the talent is equipped, and he is now ready for the hunt. However, he is shocked because this talent shouldn't be available for just this amount of money. He chooses to inspect the ability's function. Any loot he takes from enemies will always be 1 tier higher with a 5% chance of being 2 tiers higher. He also gains an active ability usable every 24 hours. It permits him to improve an item by 2 ranks or, with a 10% chance, by 3 ranks. Even though the talent only modifies items and not stats, he knows it will make him incredibly powerful. He lifts his arms as a bracer appears and he declares this will alter his fate. Entering the city, he knows this is the perfect setup. While others are stuck with bronze gear, he will already possess silver equipment. Spending all the firm's capital was certainly going to be worth the cost. He is keen to enter the world and start slaying creatures for better gear. However, he must be cautious with the daily ability. First, he must locate an object with the potential to be transformed. With all preparations finished, He interacts with the interface and the game world opens. He excitedly claims it is time to change his destiny. The perspective moves to the starting town, and he is puzzled by the number of wealthy players present. He thought he'd be among the first, but a crowd is already farming chickens for levels. Others see the birds running and immediately join the pursuit. It appears there is a struggle in the starting town for even the smallest gains. But for our hero, it is foolish to scrap over something so worthless. He needs to head directly for an objective that matters. For instance, defeating the starting area boss to get the first kill prize. The system cautions him to be wary when entering a hostile zone, but he dismisses the warning, stating the only way to level quickly is by hunting dangerous targets. Before anything else, he needs to equip gear. When he looks at his bag, he is let down. The boy has only a basic bow and cloth vest, and those aren't worth improving. The issue is that he needs a lead over the others as fast as possible. That is when he remembers the ability can also transform his own talents. He lifts his hands and applies it to himself. He uses the evolution on his elven lineage, and an owl with a lightning crown suddenly turns to gold. The process is a success, promoting it to a royal elf lineage. This boosted both his velocity and his precision, but the primary benefit was a critical strike every third attack. Just seeing his health pool grow, he knows it was a good choice. With these stats, solo play wouldn't be difficult. Then he hears a cry nearby. Looking over, he spots a level 2 forest wolf. Other players, however, are already hunting and yelling that it won't get away. Everyone is desperate to gain levels quickly. Shen Qing lurks behind a tree to watch. These players are clever. They realize that grouping up for stronger prey is the most efficient path. The only issue is that they don't grasp how lifelike this game truly is. That is when the spellcaster seems to spot something behind them and alerts the team. Wolves always travel in groups, and they were boxed in. The beasts spring at the team, and they panic as soon as they are struck. The sensation of being bitten is much more vivid than they anticipated. The party realizes it was a mistake to venture so far into the woods. One member, currently being mauled, says he will see them at the graveyard. With that, the whole group is eliminated. Shen Qing takes the ideal chance. While they were being hunted, he would strike from the rear. He shoots a perfect arrow that goes through the wolf's skull. With that, he secures his first kill. He advances from level 1 to level 2, earning experience for his lineage. He also gets 5 stat points and some wolf meat. For a solo player, items that heal are excellent. But naturally, the pack notices him and turns his way. Shen Qing looks ahead and sees 3 of them approaching. Now that he has confirmed his damage, he feels bold. He turns and begins to sprint, triggering his elven passive which doubles his movement speed. He dashes away. He runs to a cliff's edge, jumps across ledges, and leaves the pack stranded. The mix of the elven lineage and the ranger profession is flawless. He looks back and says they have no hope, but then he is caught off guard. The wolves don't even try to follow. They just stand there watching him. That is when he sees the system warning that he has entered the buffalo territory. Viewing the nearby creatures, he realizes the wolves stopped because this is a high-level zone. Frightened, the wolves start to back away while he checks the menu and sees the buffalo are level 5. Someone calls him handsome. Turning around, he sees a party asking if he wants to team up. Man, these people look untrustworthy. Even with a woman in the group, he doesn't trust her at all, especially since she repeats the compliment. When strangers call you handsome, you know they have ulterior motives. She says they are seeking a teammate to hunt buffalo and level up faster than the rest. The mage points out, however, that the boy is only level 2 and would be a burden. While Shen Qing is puzzled by the rejection, they don't give him a moment to answer. He turns and wishes them luck, saying he is going elsewhere. The blue-haired man asks if he has lost his mind trying to hunt by himself. Our hero simply says he is a loner and prefers efficiency, but they persist, warning him that the next zone is even deadlier and would be risky even for all 4 of them. The stout one asks if he understands the death penalty. Shen Qing says he is a beginner who has never died, so he has no clue about the penalty. The man explains that you first lose half your currency and your gear takes damage. Not to mention the experience of dying is incredibly painful. But the worst part is losing 50% of your accumulated experience. Shen Qing doesn't seem very bothered by this but thanks them regardless. He bids them farewell, saying it was good to learn from such experts. The girl suggests they should help him since it is dangerous, but the mage tells her not to bother. If the fool wants to die, there is no reason to intervene. Some time passes and he enters a cavern where he finds a skeleton on the ground. This seemed to be the location he was seeking, the home of the strongest boss in the area. Suddenly, A wall trembles and a massive creature opens its eyes. Our hero stands before the level 10 giant king snake. He uses his ability to find weak points. A target appears on the snake, which possesses 800 health. Meanwhile, our protagonist has over 1300 health. At level 2, he should only have about 200. However, he has an extra 1000 health from his royal elf passive. Because of this, he isn't scared to fight. Bow in hand, the beast locks eyes with him and lunges to strike. Despite its speed, he is just as fast. He leaps to the side and readies his bow. The first shot hits, but it only does 29 damage, which is less than he hoped. In the end, a boss is still a boss. He evades again and is thankful that his speed is at least enough to stay safe. Although it is a powerful beast, it is slow enough that he can slowly wear it down. However, as he aims another shot at its neck, the creature blocks with its tail. Now the monster is protecting its only vulnerability. He decides to trust his speed and fires a stream of arrows, but the beast keeps guarding and he does no damage. Eventually, he finds a gap and hits for 58 damage. This will take longer than he thought, but he is definitely quicker than the beast. Suddenly, he notices something odd. The boss starts taking a deep breath, filling the cavern with mist. The toxin begins draining 10 health every second. Calculating the math, he realizes he is running out of time. Even worse, the snake moves to the cavern ceiling, making it harder to aim. But for Shen Qing, that isn't enough to stop him. He readies another arrow, saying he is being underestimated. This time his shot does 116 damage directly to the neck. This kid really has the advantage. The beast falls to the floor, taking extra damage since every third strike is critical. He mocks the boss, asking how much more it can endure. The snake starts to look worried, realizing this won't be an easy fight. A bit later, the beast is down to nearly 600 health and Shen Qing feels good. Even losing health every second, he is sure he will win. His health continues to fall, reaching about 1000. The issue is the snake is making things harder. As he stands there, he is forced to dodge many tail swings. Once the beast realized its bites weren't hitting, it started attacking more wildly to keep him from shooting. He evades another blow and thinks that while the snake is clever, it still can't match his speed. Another arrow goes to the neck for 200 critical damage. Strangely, he sees the damage was even higher on the stomach, even though the neck is the instant kill spot. The belly seems to take significant damage. He readies another shot, thinking the snake will die even faster. But then he notices something weird. The monster appears to be grinning at him. The snake hits the ground and a fissure rushes toward him. The ground becomes shaky and he loses sight of the boss. Suddenly he falls to his knees. This time the toxin is draining 20 health per second, leaving him with only 600. This is clearly a boss meant for a team, given the toxin and the climbing. He won't survive this way. He takes wolf meat from his bag, saying he has to use more than intended. The food heals 20 health per second for 20 seconds. While it's not enough to win, it buys him time to reach the top. The next 20 seconds will decide the match. He begins to parkour up the walls, jumping between ledges. Finally, he gets above the beast. He draws an arrow and hits it. The snake looks enraged, as if it didn't expect him to survive. The arrow strikes the beast in the eye, making it thrash and fall. Shen Qing sees the snake trying to flee, but he uses its exposed back to hit the nape of its neck. The beast turns in fear, only to see our hero preparing another elven shot. The poor boss, shaking with terror, tries to hide. But Shen Qing fires again and again, with a final arrow going through its body and out its mouth. With that, the beast's health hits 0. The legend is beat and the toxin clears. The system says his feat will be announced to everyone and asks if he wants to stay hidden. Shen Qing thinks about it but decides he has been hiding for far too long. He tells the system to make the broadcast. With that, the player Cal Hai Wang is praised for the first ever boss kill. People in the village are baffled, wondering how he did it so quickly after launch. Meanwhile, other groups blame themselves for being too slow. Experienced players can't understand how this is possible. Back with the blue-haired team, they are all tired. They killed one buffalo and are sure it was a boss. The stout guy is excited to see what the reward is. Meanwhile, the others are eager to get strong to impress women. They are hoping for praise from the sister. But then the alert pops up for them. It says Cal Hai Wang earned 1,000 reputation and a silver crate. The party can't believe someone is actually stronger than them. Because he beat a higher level boss, our hero gets massive experience and hits level 7. He gets 30 points and puts them all into agility. Having no legs really made him value being fast. For his class, agility also increases damage, so it makes sense. With his stats set, it is time to see the loot. Something strange happens. The 10 silver coins the boss should have dropped become 10 gold coins. Meanwhile, other players get a copper for a buffalo. One item shines gold in his bag. He thinks it's a double evolution, but it is actually a crystal coin. It is a rare, extinct currency used for secret shops. Shen Qing had heard of it but never seen one. The system finishes the loot and he checks his bag. He got a silver snake sword. Since he uses a bow, it is useless but valuable. The best item is silver scale armor with a 300-point shield. He remembers this armor usually doesn't have a shield. Maybe his passive is boosting the stats. The problem is he needs to be level 10 to wear it. Then he remembers the silver reputation crate. He asks to open it, hoping it fits his class. He gets the legendary 7-arrow rain skill. It's a great aerial move, but again, it requires level 10. He is a bit let down but excited to get stronger later. Just then, someone in the cave calls for help. When he checks, it is a girl asking for rescue. She hid in the cave to escape the snake. Her name is Miss Gu. He knows she is a famous NPC for secret quests. He tells her the snake is gone so she can leave. But she says her foot is hurt. Covering her mouth, she asks him to carry her. You'd think he'd be a cold hero, but he blushes like an idiot. A moment later, he is carrying her out. Once outside, she touches his face and says she would have died without him. She promises to take care of him next time. But he suddenly asks what she means by next time and drops her. She says she has little to offer unless he wants her body. She teases him, but he immediately shuts her down, saying that isn't what he wants. She laughs, saying he seems to know about the trial. She pulls a blade from the rocks and offers it as a reward. It is a bronze dagger and he immediately knocks it away. He glares, demanding the secret. Confused, she asks what secret. He says he wants the quest to save the girl who lives nearby. She can't believe he knows that quest but agrees to give him the secret class trial. She stands up calmly. Meanwhile, our hero stands there with his arms crossed, asking for the handoff. Suddenly, she begins a dance so scandalous it's banned in 27 nations. She moves left and right. This woman is clearly dangerous. Out of nowhere, a circle appears under him. She warns him the secret class trial is starting and he must pass to earn it. He thanks her, but she tells him not to be so confident. This confuses him as he looks at the system window. In that moment, he is shocked. It is the Shadow Hunter mission marked with red difficulty. Failing means he is permanently banned from the class. He tells her to stop, saying he is only level 7 and can't risk disqualification. But she gives a creepy smile, saying this is the end for him. His favor with her hits 0. At that moment, he realizes the right way was to raise her favor first. That is why she forced him in early. She wishes him luck but doubts he can pass with his current skills. As he is pulled in, he swears that once he is out, he will find her and her daughter and finish them both. The circle appears in the sky elsewhere and he is dropped on the ground. It is a vast desert and he has no idea where he is. The system says the trial has started. Since this is his only shot, he has to try his best. Suddenly he hears a noise. Looking down, he sees teeth coming out of the sand. 4 more appear and he realizes he is inside a beast. He leaps as a giant worm lunges to eat him. He uses weakness detection and the target is right in its mouth. It is a level 5 elite sandworm. Level 5 should be easy, he thinks. Even with 2,000 health. Even at a low level, the health makes it a threat. He fires an arrow for 130 damage to its mouth. Luckily, out of the sand, it can't move well. The beast rises high and lunges again, but Shen Qing moves aside and it hits the ground. The impact shows that being caught would mean being buried forever. Again, he hears the sand moving on both sides. The beast is taking longer to surface, and he realizes he can't track it while it's hidden. He needs high ground to react. He sees a pillar in the distance. It's the perfect spot. He runs toward it, closing the gap. But just as he is close, it bursts out again. Expecting this, he dodges and fires 2 shots for massive damage. The beast is gross, but if he keeps dodging, he will win. Suddenly, it spits sand at him. The problem is he is in the air and can't move. He blocks his eyes but still loses 50 health. His vision is cut by half and accuracy drops 30%. He hits the ground, cursing the beast. He is still cleaning his eyes when he feels it coming from behind. He rolls just in time to miss the hit. At least he is at the pillar now. The beast hides in the sand again, but now he is ready. The creature has health, but its moves are too simple. The blindness fades after 10 seconds. With his vision back, he is sure he will win. He draws his bow, ready for the next move. As the ground shakes, he mocks the beast. It lunges again, but this time he jumps onto the pillar, calling it an idiot. The monster tries to spit sand again, but using the pillar he moves away, dodges and hits for more damage. The beast stops and he asks if it only has 2 moves. If so, he will finish it now. What follows is peak close-range archery. He dives near the mouth, dodging an attack and landing 3 shots. Preparing the final blow, he says it's over. The last shot lands and the worm is beat. He hits level 8, getting silver coins and desert boots for speed on sand. However, he calls the loot trash. How can a big monster drop garbage? That is when he sees a marker on the pillar start to glow. Looking up, he sees 9 more markers and only the bottom is lit. Suddenly, more worms appear and he gets it. He has to beat them all to pass. Climbing the pillar, he thinks it's not so bad for leveling to 10. He also realizes they track movement through vibrations. He needs a way to attract just one at a time. The issue is arrows would draw the whole pack. He has an idea. Opening his bag, he takes out some silver coins. They are light enough to draw just a few. As soon as a coin hits, a worm attacks. He smirks, saying this is a very expensive way to win. However, his spot makes it hard to hit the weak spot, lowering his damage. Still, for a millionaire, money isn't an issue. Arrows explode everywhere and 4 hours later the battle is finished. Shen Qing is still on the pillar, surrounded by worm bodies. He has finally hit level 10. With 15 points to use, he stops to think. He hasn't gotten many items and wonders if it's because his luck is at 0. Since his talent boosts drops, luck is a good idea. In his past life, he was so weak he had to use strength and health, which didn't help much. Now he tests the new level 10 skill. He shoots a dead cobra and is impressed by the force. As he adds points to luck, a purple light comes from the body. He knows this means a legendary drop. It is a sand escape skill that lets him roll through the sand. The downside is it only works in deserts. Why is this legendary, he wonders. Still, it's a drop, so he uses it. He also wears the silver armor from the snake. Now he is confident he is the top player. Then the pillar lights up and he wonders why nothing is happening. Just then the ground shakes. The pillar splits open to show a hidden path. Walking to the stairs, he knows the real prize is inside. It's a chance to test his new gear. But then he hears someone calling brother. He knows that voice. It is Xiao Tan. Outside the game, the girl says it's time to eat his favorite fried rice. His headset has augmented reality so he can hear her. He tells her to leave before she gets hurt. The system asks if he wants to log out, but he refuses. He can't leave right when he is getting the prize. Looking up, he tells her to stop interrupting him during a match. She pouts, saying he has been playing for 8 hours. He tells her to behave and not distract him. Annoyed, she leaves, saying she doesn't care about him. As she walks away, she wonders how to make him feel better. Inside the game, he says sorry to her, but this is needed. He has to get stronger to change their future. He walks to the portal, saying it is time for the new class. A blue light hits his face and he wakes up in a cave. The system warns it is a deadly area. He realizes this is the boss room. Suddenly, a beast rises. He is shocked to see such a monster. It is a gold-tier boss, the Desert King. It has high attack and 6,000 health. He is stunned by its toughness and checks for weaknesses. However, the skill fails to find any. Before he can think, the boss strikes. He dodges, but the force hits him into a wall for 100 damage. He is shocked. The hit wasn't even direct but did so much damage. No wonder it is gold tier. Just dodging won't work. He fires his first arrow, but it only does 1 damage. This is because the boss's defense is too high. The boss strikes again, but this time he uses his speed to stay away. Before he can get space, another move is coming. Knowing he can't dodge, he jumps onto the boss's arm. The beast shakes him hard before throwing him into the air. While flying, he sees a gap. He readies his 7-arrow rain and fires. Each arrow ignores defense and takes 1% of health. In one move, he drops it to 5,100. However, the boss hits back. Though he avoids it, the shock breaks his armor. Realizing he can't keep this up, he changes plans. He starts climbing the arm toward the head. From above, he tries the skill again, but nothing happens. He is out of energy. The move takes too much power. It will take 4 minutes to recover. The boss leaps to the ceiling to crush him. Forced to move, he drops down as the boss breaks everything. Just then, a purple light appears in the boss's eyes. The system says a weakness is found. Looking closer, he sees the mark on the stomach. Now he knows why it didn't work before. The weak spot is under the belly. The system warns the boss is using its ultimate move. It will do massive damage and stop his movement for a minute. He panics as tornadoes appear. He wonders why a starter boss is so overpowered. Not only is the damage high, but it lasts forever. The pressure keeps him from moving his legs. One touch from the magic and he loses health. He knows he won't last long. In seconds, he is down 400 health and can't strike back because the boss is on the ceiling. Trying to find an answer, he fires another arrow for some damage. He curses the beast for being so safe. He sees it glaring as the winds close in. He keeps losing health until everything stops. It looks like he vanished, but he used the sand skill to hide underground. The moment the boss lets its guard down, he comes out and hits the stomach. The boss starts the winds again, but he already has the answer. He uses the sand skill again and hits from the other side. Realizing it can't keep up, the boss comes back to the floor to hit him. But he just goes underground again and waves from the other side. The boss hits again, but now he is confident. This is why the skill is legendary. It uses almost no energy. Suddenly the boss speaks and calls him an idiot. He freezes in shock. This monster can talk. 3 hours later, he is down to 700 health. The fight is longer than he thought, but his skill is ready. The boss is low on health and he says it's over. But to his surprise, the boss gives up. It shows its belly, saying it is tired of fighting for hours and just wants to end it. Still wary, he says he will finish it. He uses the 7-arrow rain and the health hits 0. Because he beat a higher level beast, his level jumps to 13. The system says he can change classes and he accepts. A dark light surrounds him as the elf spirit changes. His class becomes Ghost Hunter. He gets more health, attack, and better stat growth. As a Ghost Hunter, he gets more points per level. He also gets 2 new moves, a Ghost Summon and a Bear Trap. Though basic, they fit his style. He is excited to use the evolution skill on his class, but it is on cooldown. At least his passive got the loot. Putting points in luck worked. He finds gold coins and a piercing bow that lowers defense. He also gets an agility glove, a golden sword for selling, and a healing necklace. With 21 points, he goes all in on agility. He is happy with his progress, but then the system alerts him. He has been playing for 15 hours and will be kicked out. Before he can argue, he is logged out. He wakes up in the hospital pod, annoyed by the anti-diction rules. Still, it's fair for everyone. Things are going well for his revenge. He goes to his sister, who is asleep in the ward. He sees the fried rice she made earlier. He knows she grew up spoiled, so her being here is a big effort. As he takes a bite, he cringes. It's awful, it's mostly salt. Suddenly she wakes up and is happy he stopped playing. He says sorry for waking her. She asks about the food. Holding back tears, he says it is great and delicious. She tells him to eat it all since he must be hungry. He stares at the bowl that looks like pure evil, but he does it for her. The next morning, he is feeling sick. A woman asks how he is. Suddenly, this lady is ready for him. The doctor says he had stomach issues that scared everyone. She thinks to herself that despite his legs, he is handsome and rich. If she gets him, she'll be set. He says he is fine and blames the game. With a sweet smile, she says to call her if he needs anything at all. She promises to make him feel better. He simply asks her to move him to his game station. She is confused, wondering if her charms failed. Does he really care more about the game? Once set up, she wonders if her makeup is wrong, but he ignores her and logs back in. He wakes up in the game on the second day. There are already 300,000 players. He has the elite rig, but others use cheaper VR. Soon, there will be millions of players. He is mostly unequipped, but has his new bow. His goal is high-tier gear from level 20 bosses. He enters a store and the owner notices his silver armor. The man asks what he wants, and he says everything here is junk. He tells the owner he wants the real treasures. The man says this is all they have and he couldn't afford better anyway. But then he shows the crystal coins. The man's attitude changes instantly. He becomes very friendly and says he didn't realize who he was. A bright light fills the shop as the treasures appear. The man says these weren't for sale yet, but he isn't impressed since they are only silver tier. Then a mask catches his eye. He says he wants that. The owner says it's the only gold item so far. Since he has the crystal coin, he can have it for 150,000 gold. He pays immediately. The owner is stunned by the wealth. The man thinks he spent a fortune, but he doesn't care. He says he'll take it, and the owner notes that VIPs can do as they please. Outside, he says the price was worth the lead. He wears the mask and it boosts his stats and scares weaker players. People stare at the crazy mask. A player says it must be a hack. Suddenly, someone grabs his shoulder. He turns to see what the man wants. A man says his items look nice and he should lend them. He asks why and the group laughs. His face goes dark as he asks again. The man says he must be a hacker and should hand over the items or be reported. He laughs, asking if they are robbing him. A crowd gathers and the group takes the chance. One of them shouts to teach the cheater a lesson. The crowd joins in. The man warns him to give the items or be killed repeatedly at the spawn. He notes that jealous people are everywhere. He sees they are all low level and tells the three of them to attack together. They jump at him and he uses the mask. A tiger appears and scares them all. They fall to the ground and one even coughs blood. The crowd doesn't understand what happened. He smirks and asks about the spawn camping. He gives his name and says they can try to kill him whenever they want. He walks away without killing them. This kid is actually decent. But then people check the leaderboards. He is already rank 1 at level 13. The next best is only level 8. Everyone is glad they didn't fight him. The man on the ground realizes he messed up. He had the bad luck to pick a fight with the top player. Later, he goes to the forest cabins. Before hunting, he has something to do. He finds a girl on the ground. He calls her little girl and asks for her mother. She snaps back that she isn't a little girl and he isn't much older. He knows he has the right person. He asks if she is Linger. The girl is confused and asks how he knows her. He calmly says her mother promised she'd marry him in 5 years. She freaks out and runs away, yelling about being sold. Then the mother appears, asking what happened. The daughter accuses her of selling her to the boy. He greets her and she is shocked he passed the trial. He smirks, saying he is a man of his word. She asks what he wants and warns him to be respectful. He is surprised to learn NPCs can vanish if offended. He says he just wants a dungeon map. Linger says they don't have one. He says he'll have to show them something then. He makes a move and the woman flinches. But he is just holding a giant crystal. He tells her to take it as payment. They both stare at it and his favor goes up 50 points. Linger asks if it's for her. She grabs it, thanking her big brother. The mother tries to take it back, saying she is too young. The two start fighting, with Linger calling it a wedding gift. He has no idea what they are talking about and just wants the map. The mother agrees but says it wasn't for sale for another 20 days. But because of the payment, she'll make an exception. She says the chief authorized the map for those seeking a challenge. Linger says she knows the way and will take him there. Elsewhere, a woman is relaxing. She is the village chief and looks dangerous. She is a cat-like beauty with a strange aura. She sees Linger approaching. Linger falls into her lap, saying someone is looking for her. The chief asks who it is. Suddenly he is there, asking for the map. The chief tells him to be realistic. At level 13, he has no chance. He should come back at level 20. He tosses another crystal. The chief softens and asks if he is trying to bribe her. She says she is a righteous person. So righteous, she accepts the crystal because he is a good person. Linger says if she is kind, she should give it back to him. She throws it back to him. He pockets it and asks for the map again. The chief says the dungeon is suicide for him. To keep the game fun, she can't give it to him. He asks how to prove his strength. The chief says wolves attack every year. Players help, but no one has killed the White Wolf King. If he kills it and brings back proof, they can talk. The system offers a hard quest and he accepts. He says he'll be back soon. Suddenly Linger grabs him and says she is going too. She says she can protect him. He tells her to stop playing and go home. But she says she wants to protect the village. He asks the chief to control her. The system updates, saying he must now protect Linger. He can't believe she changed the mission. She won't let go and he asks if she is a monkey. She starts throwing a tantrum like a child. Since he has to protect her, he gives in. Later, they are in the woods. Linger is scared. They hear noises and he goes to check. A group is killing wolves. He asks for the den. They are low level and the leader refuses to help. The leader points to a tattoo and mentions the Green Snake Guild. Another guy says the whole area is theirs. If he wants to farm, he has to pay. The guy asks if Linger is a secret quest. He mocks their slow leveling. The man retorts that wolves are safe and easy. Linger hides and then points at something. He sees a dark aura and grabs her to jump away. They land on a tree while the group mocks them for fleeing. He thinks they are idiots for not sensing the danger. Liquid hits Linger's head. She looks up and sees a giant wolf and screams. It lunges and she is gone. The group turns and sees only her feet. The leader tells everyone to run, but the wolf is too fast. It vanishes and hits a player. The pack attacks and the group starts dying. The level 20 Wolf King appears. He sees it has tricks and readies an arrow, but Linger stops him. She says he can't fight yet. The wolf senses something and runs off. He wants to chase it, but she tells him to stay. She says it appeared because too many wolves died. If he fights now, he will die. He needs to prepare. He finds it odd but trusts her. Linger shows a path to the den. He asks why she didn't show it sooner. She grins and asks if he likes her on the team. He tries to upgrade his lineage, but the system says it is maxed out. He decides to evolve his ghost skill instead. Blue energy forms and a water clone of himself appears. To test it, he tells the clone to use his skill. Seeing it work, he realizes how strong this is. He then tells the clone to use the evolve skill. It works and a notice pops up. Instead of his skills, it evolves the ghost skill itself. He is shocked. It actually worked. The NPC asks if he is cheating and he says he is just that good. He asks his odds and she says 20%. He decides to boost that and evolves his arrow skill. It costs less and does more, becoming 8 arrows. The NPC says his odds are now 34%. The ghost evolution also lets him summon another clone. He summons a second one and tries to evolve again, but they share a cooldown so he can't spam it. He realizes he needs to use the skill before summoning. He tells her they need a plan. They go to the water. A creature attacks a fish, but he shoots it. He gets crocodile meat for a speed and agility boost. He uses his clones to hunt fast. An hour passes and Linger eats too. His favor with her goes up because the food is good. They get more high-quality meat. He explains his clones are gathering items for the boss fight. Linger says his odds are now 40%. He says that's enough and it's time to go. They go to the cave. He summons clones and sets traps. With 4 of him, he waits and fills the area with traps. Linger says he is doing too much and it isn't helping. He says he just wants to stop its movement. She says it's still under 50%. He tells her to just watch. He tells her to hide and calls for the boss. The Wolf King comes out and charges. He thinks it will hit a trap, but it stops and sniffs the air. The boss is smarter than he thought. He keeps yelling to lure it out. Someone sneaks up on Linger and grabs her. The system says a trap was hit. He is confused since the wolf is still there. Looking back, he sees his rear traps hit something. A group of players is holding Linger. She fights to get free. The players complain about the traps. He appears and tells them to let her go. Linger says her husband will beat them up. The leader is confused by her age. He can't believe his reputation is being ruined. The villains laugh at him. The leader says the area is theirs. He says he heard it was the Green Snake S. The leader asks if he is crazy for being there. He asks if he ambushed their team earlier. He says to just ask their team when they respawn. The leader doesn't believe he could beat them. He tries to avoid a fight for the mission's sake. The leader asks what he is doing there. He says he is just wandering, but the leader doesn't buy it. He knows a boss is nearby and wants the loot. He wonders if he should just fight them. Then he offers to show them the boss if they let her go. The leader laughs. A girl says the leader is Yang Chang, a top-ranked player. He remembers his family owns part of Yang Chang's family firm. Even the father is polite to him. He tells Yang Chang he knows of him. Yang Chang says he should give up his money, but he says he isn't looking for a fight. He warns them they are going too far. Suddenly, a roar comes from the cave. The boss is there. Yang Chang says his elite team will hunt it. They rush in. The guy drops Linger into his arms and says they'll deal with him later. But he knows they will fail. They don't know the boss and aren't ready. Worst of all, they hit his traps. The leader is stuck as the boss attacks. He has no idea what is happening. The mage says it is level 20. Yang Chang tells them not to worry because he has a special talent. He bulks up and a clone appears. It boosts his attack by a lot. He had never heard of this skill. Linger asks if he is going to help, but he says to let them fail first. The friends wish the leader luck. He thought he couldn't lose because he wouldn't die in one hit and had healers. He charges, but the boss stabs him through the chest. He is shocked the guy didn't last one hit. He sees the beast did massive damage very quickly. Yang Chang is left with almost no health. The guy is tossed aside like trash. Seeing this, the group runs away. He thinks they are useless. The boss roars and more wolves come out. The fleeing group is chased. The girl wants to help, but the guy says it's suicide. She waits, but he runs away. He sees someone walking to the monster and wonders who the crazy person is. It's our hero, saying the boss used his own traps for revenge. Now it was his turn. Yang Chang thinks he is insane and just plays dead. The beast stares at him. He is attacked by wolves, but he just taps his ear. He uses the mask and the tiger pushes them back. The boss is confused. Then it feels him in the air shooting, but the wolf is fast and avoids them. He realizes it is faster than his aim. The boss comes for him and he decides to go all in. Blood spray occurs and Linger screams. It looks like he was stabbed too. He is in trouble. His shield is gone and he lost a lot of health. The beast is grinning, but the crazy hero is smiling too. He asks if the boss really thought he couldn't dodge. He let it hit him so he wouldn't miss his counterattack. His clones use the 7-arrow move. The beast tries to dodge and arrows go everywhere. He mocks the beast and asks if it likes this. He did a lot of damage. He warns the boss that traps are everywhere. He eats meat to heal, saying they will see who lasts longer. With more meat, he heals back up. The boss stares and then vanishes. He wonders if it is invisible, but it's behind him. Before he can move, he is hit again for big damage. Now he gets it. That was the move that killed the others. But as soon as he looks, it's gone again. He gets beaten like a fight from a cartoon. He is tossed all over and hits the ground with low health. He knows the boss is trying to stop his healing. The beast comes to grab him, but suddenly something caught the beast. It hit one of the many traps he set. With the beast stuck, he says he won't miss. He fires a shot for double damage, but it wasn't enough to kill it. The beast has over 2,000 health left. It breaks free and hits him twice in the chest. He needs to move, but the beast is confused because he keeps smiling. He knew the traps wouldn't stop it. He used his body to keep it in place. He uses his clone skills again. The beast tries to throw him, but the trap was set. While it's stuck, he uses the arrow skill again. He calls it 21 attacks because of the clones. Elsewhere, a group hears an explosion. They wonder if it's a bomb or a hacker. Linger is happy. The boss is in a crater with almost no health. He eats more meat as Linger tells him to finish it. He says there is no rush. Yang Chang is still playing dead. He wonders why it's quiet after the blast. He stays still until he's sure it's safe, but an arrow hits near him. When he sees our hero, he asks if the boss is dead. He says it's basically finished. Yang Chang begs for mercy. He says he forgives him and will even give him the experience. But he has to do a favor later. Holding an arrow to his neck, he asks for a choice. He knows the man's family has power and wants to use it to keep his firm. He has 6 months before the game affects reality and wants to be safe. He asks if he will take the deal. The man asks what he wants. He says he doesn't like dealing with people who have no goals. Yang Chang says he wants help leveling and leading his gang. He laughs and readies a golden attack. The arrow hits and the boss dies. The deal is done and the man gets 2 levels. Yang Chang thanks him, but he says not to call him brother. He warns him that if his name is used badly, he will kill him. The man swears to be loyal. He calls for Linger to leave. Before going, he tells the hero he will be in touch. He heals himself and plans for the future. He is then annoyed by the NPC talking about marriage. He tells her she is just data and a child. She gets mad and bites him. He wonders who made this character and tells her to go away so he can see the loot. He got wolf pants that double his speed when at full health. He feels like he can fly. He also got an assassin weapon and a rare pelt. He knows the pelt is for a mission. He also got a skill to summon wolves, which is great for him. He gets gold and other items too. Lady Gu wonders why they are late and blames the chief. Then she sees them back. Linger hugs him and says he protected her. He gives the pelt to the chief. She smiles and says he is special. She gets flustered and gives him a scroll. She says it's for higher levels and he might die, but it's a great chance to farm alone. He takes it and says not to worry. Linger asks if he is leaving. He asks if she is still following. The mother takes her away and tells him to go. He says the map was for a rare item, so he feels cheated. The chief thinks he is trying to trick her. He shows a golden light and asks if this is all he gets. She says he can keep a skill and he thanks her. It was an epic skill for a huge attack. He celebrates the hidden prize. He fires a golden arrow that cuts through the sea. He is happy with the range. He thanks the chief and tells Linger to grow up. He runs off with his speed boost. The girl is upset. Next, he is by the sea. He uses the scroll and a city appears. It's the city of Roy. He knows it has great stuff. In his past life, he was late and missed the good quests. But at level 40, this city lets you bring stats to the real world. Once that happens, his rival will suffer. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. Turn on the bell and I'm out.